Hello everybody, my name is Periwinkle, and today I have an awesome musical theater acting video for you guys, and it is how to play the opposite gender in a musical. This is mostly catering to women wanting to play male characters, since that's, the part I've usually been playing. I'm not a man, so I can't be wanting to play female roles because that would be the same gender, so I can't really help the guys in this situation, but I think that they can definitely take tips from this. But again, this is more towards a female wanting to play a really awesome male role. A lot of discrimination sometimes happens in theater, whether it be based on gender, size, race, such like that, and there's no one really willing to break those stereotypes. And I see so many male roles as amazing, and I look at them and I'm like, wow, I think I could bring something new to that. And I know so many other girls do too, and that's what happened with Beauty and the Beast. I am in a production of it, and I am Belle's father, aka Maurice. Maurice is one of the best characters to play. He is so much fun, and I would have never gotten that opportunity if I didn't step out the box and be okay with a male character. Just know that it's completely okay if you are a girl wanting to play a male, and just pursue what roles you really think would suit you and your personality best. But of course, if you do get a male role, sometimes it is hard to portray masculinity when you are inside female, so I have developed some tips to really help you give off the best air for your character, whether he be completely masculine or have a feminine side. It all depends, so I hope these tips will really help you out. Observe people in your real life who have this sort of personality. With Maurice, he's a very quirky inventor who loves his daughter, so I took inspiration from my grandfather and my dad and just watched how they moved, and it was very easy to pick up on some certain things they did that I don't even know that they know they have as habits. So what I recommend for my first tip is definitely examine someone with a personality like the character you're trying to pursue, and start implementing that into your actions that you play while you're on stage. The next is how you walk, and I know I have a decent posture. People make fun of me because my seat is all the way up and like not bent back at all while I drive, but depending on the character, a lot of males do kind of slouch a little bit. So what you can do is you can go forward if your character isn't as confident, or really far back if they are very confident, and puff out your chest a little bit if they are extremely confident. Again, really look into them and examine that character to see what you need to do. And also, females tend to swing their arms a lot. What a lot of males like to do, especially if you're playing an older male in an older piece, like say from the 1800s or based in the 1800s, is they'll have their hands in like fists and walk like this, kind of like they're on a mission, I guess you could say. So next is kind of getting the voice. So the voice is really kind of difficult for most people. My voice is naturally low for a female, so it kind of works in my favor, but if you have a soprano voice really high up, then I can understand how it would be difficult. So what I do is I close off my nostrils, which is not the best for musical theater, but just speaking, I close off my nostrils and I add a bit of a rasp to my voice, like this, and I make it vary a lot more. And what that does, it adds a little bit of character back into it. Again, if you have very solid male like this, you gotta look at the voice. But a tip I always do is I always close off my nostrils and just take it down naturally a few octaves. And this is probably gonna wear out your voice, but this is what helps me, and I add a little bit of rasp to it. It just, enunciate on certain words and add some emphasis, just depending on what he is passionate about, Maurice as a character, or whatever character you're playing with. And it does get hard to breathe for a little bit, so that might not be the best strategy for someone with a monologue. But if it's just dialogue, this strategy of lowering your voice naturally and closing off your nostrils and adding emphasis definitely helps, in my opinion. So this next thing is how to get the makeup, and one thing I always like to do is I like to contour, but in a very different way from what you would normally do. I actually did a whole female where I turned myself into a drag king. If you guys want to go watch that, I posted it last year. And how you do it is you cut right here like you normally would, but then cut down and blend that way, almost like a skeleton, and that gives a really long look to the face. And also what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of shading right here, kind of like a dimple chin, and I also like to not shade right in here, but shade right under here for contour. And don't contour the nose at all unless you have unless your character, I guess, has a skinny nose. I don't know. I don't really know specifics for that. It all depends on your character. All these tips depend on your character. But if you want better tips on that, definitely go there. And also, prosthetics really help. I know for Maurice, I have a fake mustache and eyebrows. I have to block out my regular eyebrows and put on fake ones, and wigs. So definitely look at all your options, whether it be using latex to apply pieces or just creating a 5 o'clock shadow with some eyeshadow. All depends. Just I think what is best and what looks best for you. So another tip I have is to detract attention away from, you know, your feminine parts. You know, if people looked at me on stage really closely, they could see that I am not a man. I am in fact female because of how my body looks. So one tip I always use is I always wear a sports bra, because if I wear any other bra, it just really brings out my curves. And also just make sure that everything isn't too tight, because then it really draws attention to it. So if you're really wanting to hide all that, wear loose-fitting clothes, and I would not recommend wearing a bra that is normal, I guess you could say. A sports bra really helps bring it back. Definitely don't bind. That is not safe. Don't bind your chest at all. So just wear a sports bra. This tip I actually learned from my director, because apparently females move their hands a lot more than males in theater. I never noticed this, but apparently it happens. So a lot of females have a lot of actions up here, while males will be a lot more below the chest. I don't know the science behind it, but apparently that's how it is. And I was told that, and I was like, wow, that's insane. So for a male, if you're doing any hand motions, really take them down a notch, because females will often be very in your face with the hand motions, but males will be down below their chest. Put your arm in your elbow below your breasts and just put your hand motions down here, and don't make them so insane. My final tip for playing the opposite gender is still add in those touches you want to the character. One of the most important parts in acting is adding a bit of yourself to the character and how you interpret the character. And you must keep that even when you are playing a male. You can't just be a stale version of that. You have to put your own spin on it, just like any good actor would. Don't be afraid to take a male character just because it's the opposite gender and add a bit of yourself or put another spin on it, just because that helps distinguish you as an actor. And it's really what a lot of agencies look for, is how people put spins on it and how people really interpret it in their own mind and add it to the show. So don't be scared of that. Still interpret the character as you wish and add those touches. If it does seem feminine, definitely ask your director or a producer or someone, or even a castmate, if it looks feminine. And if it's really feminine, they will definitely tell you. I've been told multiple times. So make sure you're just not scared, and if you think you're looking feminine, just to get other advice. Anyway guys, hope this video helped, and if you liked it, leave a like down below and subscribe. I make a lot of theater videos, gaming videos, etc. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye!